Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump, a message, efficiency, and perception. So today, we're going to talk about perception and how a preconceived idea might lead to major issues when striving for efficiency. We'll start off with the message. Hey, your video about looking for efficiency in research presupposes that the people trying to make things more efficient should be familiar with all forms of research, which is kind of a miss on its face. But that's a small part of the problem. The big thing is federal employees aren't even going to work anymore. They're still doing work from home. They want them to get back to work because right now we're paying for their offices and they aren't using them. The Government Accountability Office said that 17 of the 24 largest federal agencies used on average only 25% of their office space. That's waste, period. Not efficient, period. These people are getting a paycheck for nothing. Vivek says if we tell them to go back to work, 25% will quit. That's money saving. We have to look for the cuts and be more efficient. Starting at the top, I will admit that I expect somebody to learn about what research is supposed to accomplish before cutting it. That's not me presupposing something. Making decisions to cut something that's justified without learning about it first is not efficient. Looking at your stats. So, your 25% stat is correct when it comes to office space use in 2023. The percentage about who will quit is just him guessing. I know that because at a congressional hearing back in May, the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, said that only 22% of federal employees typically worked from home. Also, he said, quote, "You don't even have to talk about you're in a mass firing. A mass exodus. Just tell them they have to come back 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, telling them to work 50 hours per week? Yeah, some people would probably quit. Probably those who can go somewhere else quickly. Probably because they're skilled. That doesn't seem efficient to lose those people. But, since you brought it up, presuppositions. Do you know the one you're making? That workers at the office are more efficient. You have an entire message here about making people go back to work to be more efficient. So, a study of public sector employees in the UK found that working from home boosted productivity by 12%. Data on labor productivity in the public sector in Canada showed a 4.5% increase. The OPM said they found increased productivity in U.S. public sector workers as well. The San Francisco Federal Reserve looked at data from a bunch of different sources and found nothing conclusive across private industry. So, looking over the research I pulled together quickly, if you're looking for efficiency and productivity, it seems like you would probably want a hybrid system with mostly at-home work, but a few days in the office for accountability and idea sharing. We'd probably get better increases in productivity if we knew which jobs were made more efficient by work from home. Maybe we should fund some research into that. Over the long term, the knowledge would pay off through increased productivity. So, there's increased efficiency. And in that video you mentioned, I said if you increased efficiency, you'd find cuts. So what are they? The buildings. Do you know what it costs to maintain those? Is that going to happen? Of course not. And certainly not all at once, because the decrease in foot traffic would hurt nearby businesses. If I'm not mistaken, when Congress pushed the return to work thing, they all but admitted it was about the local economy. So, hurting public sector efficiency for the benefit of the private sector's bottom line. Yeah, that sounds about right. One last thing to keep in mind is that many people, particularly those associated with the private sector, think federal government work from home started with the pandemic. It started in 2001. I think Bush Jr. pushed it as a thing to help people with disabilities. After September of that year, it seemed to be pushed as a way to increase decentralization of government employees and increase national security. The private sector and public sector have different concerns. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.